Yeah. Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Since we last talked to this young man, you remember that project Theboofmobile HB when he was breaking down the meaning of booth? We didn't know what that meant. and he educated us on what that was, and we talked about Hit Boy and the Inland Empire and Southern California and what makes him great and some of the tragedies he faced and some of the triumphs, and now we back a year later and he's still shining with a new project called Armani. It's his sophomore EP. Please welcome back to the show the one and only Jahmed, ladies and gentlemen. Yo!
What up, John?
What up?
Hey, what's the deal? What's the deal? Thank y'all for having me. What's the deal with it?
Man, you sound different already to me, bro. What a difference a year makes, right?
Hey, man, I've been living and learning and maturing and progressing at the same time. You feel me?
Yeah, no
I hear
doubt.
that.
Hey, man, what kind of things have you learned, brother? First of all, welcome back to the show before we get into the conversation. And listening to the
I
project.
appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, man. Listening to the project, man, you got some iconic figures on this project I want to talk about. But what did you learn? What kind of learning have you had? I'm interested in that, man. I'm taking everybody learnable moments and using it for my benefit. So what you learn?
For sure. I mean, for one, I mean, last time I was here, it was I think it was like pre-COVID, or it was like super pre-COVID. So we here a year later, and like we was isolated. Like the whole world was isolated for a year. So one thing I learned in the past year was like patience. You feel me? Because like I was middle of a rollout. I had lined up shows. I'm looking at all these opportunities in my first year into the game. And then now everything's on hold because of the pandemic, because of COVID-19. So, like, I really have to just learn to be patient with myself mentally and, like, just know that I'm not the only person affected by this. So it really just made me a little more aware of my surroundings and to appreciate the smaller things of life, because we was, like I said, everybody was limited. Like, we couldn't even go outside at one point. Mm-hmm. So I really just learned to be patient. If I can say I learned anything in the last year, it's just patience.
What are some of those smaller things, Jahmed? Because during this time inside, the smaller things can actually appear to be the bigger things. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you flip your perspective on it. So what were some of those things?
Some of the small things for sure was like, spending time with your loved ones. I know, like, being in the music, we so caught up with trying to, be better than we was last time. So then, like, just having that mindset, you don't really have time for the people around you. And like I said, I was very early, but I see myself stepping away from my little brother, stepping away from my father and my mother. So one of those little things was really just spending time, just communication with people. I feel like since I've been in like a, isolated pandemic, I've been communicating with people a little more better, because like that's the only thing I can do. I can't really go outside and hang out with you, so I gotta like via social media, text message, phone calls. I'm communicating with my people a little more better than what I was previously, and I feel like that was a little thing, but it's really a huge thing. Now that I look back, was communication was so important, that something that I wasn't always 100% fine on. You know what I'm saying? So I think another little thing was just appreciating just life, like going outside, appreciating the trees. It sound a little weak right now, but like just appreciating trees, appreciating the dogs. Like it's so much things I appreciate, like my view, like the sun, like everything, because like we just we was limited. So I just appreciated it so much, and those are the things that I really, really appreciated during this whole year run.
I love it, man. Jahmed is with us, and
That's
he got
real.
the new project Armani. When you say appreciate the trees, now I know you from Cali. That could happen. That could be a double entendre right there. You know what I mean? So,
hey, ironically, I don't even be smoking, bro. I be trying to stay away from that.
really? Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Okay.
That's different for a rapper.
From
We don't be
Cali.
hearing
Nah,
that.
yeah.
In Cali.
I had some horrible experiences, so me, I don't ignore signs, so I stayed away from it after I took my first hit. I stayed away from that.
What happened?
the homie passed me something and I smoked it, and it was the anxiety went from like 1 to 30, and I told myself, I ain't never getting high again. I don't know how y'all even be rapping about this. I'm solid.
Wow. Okay. Maybe he gave you some bammer, but I'm glad you made the choice you did. All right.
Nah, for real.
You said you learned about patience. We were just talking about about Lil Yachty, who was speaking about his financial
Mm-hmm.
challenges. You know, having 50. I don't know if you saw that clip, but you know, he said he's spending about $52,000 a month. And you know, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people made a lot of money during this pandemic, but like you said, your whole rollout got stopped. So a lot of folks didn't necessarily generate a lot of money. With patience, did you have to kind of reprogram yourself on how to be frugal when it came to money? Like, how did you manage money during this time?
For sure, for sure. I think definitely I was dumbly aware like of how to like that was one of my main concerns. But you know, like I'm a spiritual person. I believe in the higher source, so I feel like you know God took care of me in those times. I look back at it now. I'm like, dang, I had just quit my job like a year before, and like I was getting up for all these shows and these opportunities where I can generate some income, and like really, it was just me believing in God during that whole process. Like, look, I'm talking to him like, you know my situation, you know what I'm going through, and this just happened. So like, but in the midst, he made a way for me. Like I ain't trying to get like all super super spiritual and churchy, but like he made a way for me in this whole year. And luckily for me though, I was smart with my funding. Like you know, I seen some income very early on, and I just saved it. Just saved it for like you know. I come from you know struggle days, and I know what it take. I know how it feels to be in those situations. So I told myself I could never go back to that situation. So one of the things that I took before the whole pandemic was to save my money, like you know, just to put it up. And right after that, the whole situation kicked back. So I was able to kind of like maneuver uh, in a comfortable space financially wise. But you know, it's unfortunate for a lot of people though, because like that, you know, that's not the case for everybody. And you
Yeah,
know, everybody got kids and stuff. You know, so it's just one of those things that you know I had to just turn to God for. If I could be honest with you.
I love it. Jahmed is here. He
Yeah.
sounds so clear, right? HB sounds strong.
Oh, I love it. And John, listen, you're gonna have to get on that vibe with me because there was something about the way your energy, even the way you jumped on the phone and how you were breaking down certain things, what you learned to appreciate during the pandemic, and I could literally feel your spirituality through your words. Through that though, anybody of faith, your faith is often tested, you know, and whether
Yeah.
a lot of people feel like this pandemic tested our faith, was there a moment that you're comfortable with sharing where you felt like your faith was being tested, and not just leaving your job and doing this, but really really as an artist during this time where you felt like, man, did I make the right decision in pursuing this?
Yeah, 1,000%. Faith, yeah, my faith was tested, dummy tested, but I appreciate you 1,000%.
Oh, okay. You okay? All right. He didn't want
You
to
know
share
what,
it
he
with.
not comfortable with, yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Oh
Hey,
wait,
hey.
I'm sorry. No, my fault, my fault. It was the whole question. If it was, I missed it. Let me answer it though. Nah, for real, I'm not ducking no questions. Real talk.
Okay. How was it tested? Give us an example.
How was it tested? My fault. I didn't know that was a question. My fault, Heather.
Yeah, I said
Uh,
if you was comfortable with sharing. Yeah.
oh yeah, it was just. I mean, like you want like specific scenarios, like yeah, my it was tested in like multiple ways. Like even if we talking about Armani and the music, like it was a point where I didn't know how to bounce back from dropping the Boofmobile to like what am I gonna say now? Like you know I made this whole project to like really just be in front of the crowd and make shows, and I feel like I was really tested with what I was gonna come with next on music wise, and one of the things that I like really felt was like, dang, like, do I drop music again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do I drop a whole nother project in the pandemic? I can't have a proper rollout like all the other artists is doing. Like, everybody that's on is different. They can still drop music and, you know, ride the wave. I can't do that. I got to really be in front of the people. Like, you know how it is for new artists. So I think I was really tested on what I was going to say in my next project. And I remember sitting down with my producers like, look, bro, like, we know what we're capable of. Like, we know what we can make. But at the end of the day, we got to really speak to the people, like really speak. And I'm not to say that the Boofmobile, I wasn't talking to nobody, because it was definitely, you know, meaningful records in that project. But in a sense, we got to be super direct about what I'm going through as an artist. We have to be super direct about, you know, how to bounce back from situations. So at the end of the project, we put a song called Roadblock just to, you know, just so the people can hear it and know that they can smash through anything we're going through at the current state of life just right now. So I feel like I was really tested with the music and putting pressure on something important to say.
Roadblock is a great song too. It got that kind of it's a low end frequency on that bass. Kind of pulls you in and it moves at an interesting pace. But also the Machiavelli song on this project, you say something really interesting in the hook where you say, "Fuck rap. I learned that from Machiavelli. This shit is whack. People lying. They ain't really that crazy." What is the intent behind that? What were you trying to get across?
So like Machiavelli, that's a good thing you asked me that. Machiavelli is like the flip side of everything I just said. Like me being impatient. Like, you know, I hit a certain episode at one point when making this album was like I was so frustrated with not being, you know, not being recognized or, you know, not being, you know, just an impatient artist that's hungry, like just a starving artist that's really trying to get on. And I think Machiavelli represents that to the fullest standard. And it's like the ignorant version of me expressing myself, because if you listen to the hook, it's like fuck rap. I learned that from Machiavelli, baby. Just like the aggressiveness, some, you know, at some point Tupac had at some of the records he listened, like some of the records he do, like, you know, he had some sort of aggressiveness. And then when you listen to those verses, though, it's really just me opening up about me being like self-conscious or not confident enough that I can do this. Like the last verse, I'm speaking on my confidence the whole time of like, can I even rap? Can I even do this? Like I'm looking at everybody else going crazy. And one of my flaws in that song was me comparing myself to everybody I've seen that's making a way and that's coming up. And at the end of the record, you hear Sugar Free just telling me like, look, bro, like just keep going, keep pushing forward. Keep doing you. It's going to take some time, and it may take 10 years to 20 years, but you got to keep going and on. It's going to come back to you full cycle.
Word.
Come on,
I'm
man.
glad I'm glad you were very transparent about that, because so many artists, in my opinion, we struggle with that. You do, and your faith is tested in that way too, just with simple identity, like just with your identity of it all, especially now with social media. It has to be 100 times worse, but because you see so much of what other people are doing. I'm so glad you were honest about that, bro. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, social media made it worse though. Real talk. That was good. Yeah.
Well, you talk about that, people lying on their Instagrams, but you brought up somebody that I think should be celebrated, and I don't know if it's celebrated enough. I remember when he first put out his street gospel project back in like mid-90s, 97 or so. Sugar Free. Sugar Free is an icon.
Yeah.
West Coast juggernaut. Okay, Sugar Free, there's never been anybody quite like Sugar Free. When you talk about originality, innovation, you know, that Sugar Free style is yet to be matched. I love Sugar Free. I remember DJ Quick and him were doing a whole lot of work early on. How did you get Sugar Free on this project? Are y'all friends? Are y'all family?
It's crazy. Not related, not at all. But like, you know, I come from the same city. Like Pomona, it's not too big. You feel me? It's super small. So like from the east side to the west side to the north, it's super small. But really, how it happened, bro? I don't even know how it happened myself. Like I just remember being in the studio a day before. I talked to him, and me and my producers and the homies was in there going over the project. And obviously, we didn't have him on there yet because like we had all the songs, and I was just looking to my producers like, bro, this won't make sense if we don't get Sugar Free on here. It's like this is one of those projects to where like I need that narration, and I can do it myself, but like it only makes sense if we grab him on there. And like I think just speaking that into manifestation, literally the next day my manager called me like, look, I got Sugar Free on the line, and I'm like, whoa, hey, we was just talking about this in the studio. That's crazy. So, but I think just the ties of being from Pomona, it kind of helped everything go smoother than normal, because like he was with everything, and really. Sugar Free just a cool dude. Like really how he talk on records, that's really how he talk in real life. Just smooth, and like he always got metaphors and shit. So I was like, yo, this is really Sugar Free. This is crazy. But like he just I think he just looked out for me. Like I just showed him like, yo, I want like, you know, if you could talk about this or do this and combine this together with that. And I didn't really have to really just, you know, spoon feed it to him. Like, you know, I just gave him like little top liners and whatever, and he just took it and ran with it. And he sent back like a 12-minute audio clip of him just like, imagine hearing Sugar Free just talk for 12 minutes. Like we was having fun with that alone. Like it was crazy.
Man, so much game probably fell off in that 12 minutes, man.
I wanted to use it all, and I wanted to use it all, man. I only used like a cool 5 minutes. I was like, damn, I got to use all this, but I couldn't, you know, mash it all together.
Might have to use it again, man. The song You Say is at first glimpse, it sounded like some girl broke your heart, took advantage of you, and stole your money. When you first hear some of those lyrics, what motivated that song? I doubt that's what it is, but what motivated that song?
motivated you say it's multiple things. Like really, it's multiple things. It's like it's a concept record that it parallels between a woman and how I'm treated in the USA. If you really listen to it, that's why I spell USAY. But in the whole, like, if I could put it all in one word, is betrayal. Like, just feeling betrayed, and it's pretty much literal. It's pretty much upfront and forward, but like, just being betrayed and feeling like, treason or backstab. These are the things that drew me to even make that record, and ironically, don't like when you hear it, you can bop to it and have fun to it. And I think that was the idea. I wanted to make it not sad to where it was like your mood switch, but I wanted an up-tempo record to where you can vibe to, but then if you really listen to it, it's a whole message from the beginning of the hook to the last verse, the Sugar Free part.
Great project. What I find interesting too is that it's 9 songs on this project, and the entire project is only 24 minutes long. And that includes the interludes. Is that on purpose?
That's a good question. I really don't be like, even with the booth, it's very short. So, but like with this one, I don't know. I really was just creating a way, this, like how it was given to me. Like meaning, like these things happen off energy, and I live to even make these records, and I feel like once I felt I was satisfied with everything that I wanted to talk about, it just so happened to be 9 songs with 24 minutes. And I wanted to push the 30-minute mark so bad because when we dropped the Theboofmobile, everybody was clowning me because I put out 13 minutes and they wanted more. So I was like, I'm going to push the 30-minute mark. But then this one is 9 songs, but it's really 10 songs because the second song has 2, and it's still under 30 minutes. So I'm like, well, they're just going to get a 24-minute. Shout out to Kobe. You feel me?
There it is.
Shout out to Kobe. Man, this is Jahmed. Jahmed. Well, I won't say this on air, but your name. Well, I'll tell you impersonally the connection between your name and one of my names. But see, not everything is meant for on air. But this is Jahmed, ladies and gentlemen, and I really want y'all to follow him and check out his new project, Armani. Armani is the title. What does that mean? Is Armani? What is it symbolic of? What's the meaning of Armani for this project?
So Armani, I wanted to choose like something that makes sense, like and it's like the name, like me drawing from that name doesn't make sense, but I wanted to pull from something that had some type of like a character to it, like a silhouette character, because we don't know who Armani is, but like Armani is something. And I think the name Armani itself is just strong, and it represents so many colors. So for this one, that's why I wanted to step out and do colors. Like the cover art is like blue and red, and then it has these colors that cut through the cover art. And I think what Armani itself is, it represents multiple things. Like it's 2-sided. It can be good or bad, negative, evil, blessed and stressed. You feel me? So like I really just wanted to pick something, and I just drew the name Armani. Like, yo, Armani's a strong name. When you hear Armani, you think of like this beautiful foreign woman or whatever you think of, or like Armani the clothes. But like Armani's just a super strong name, and I was just like, you know what? We got to pull Armani. That's what it is, and it's close to America too at the same time. So I was like, you know what? Let's silhouette this and make it Armani. And then on the cover art, we're gonna have a silhouette side profile of a woman, but you don't see the woman, you just see a head profile, but it's beautiful enough to where you want to dive into it and see what Armani is and what it's about.
Jahmed, I love it. Anybody got anything else? Tracy, you want to ask him one more question?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask him, well, do you feel like hip-hop is where you want to stay for the long game? A lot of times people will come in and feel like this is a young man's sport, and at a certain age, you got to be out. Then there's also thoughts about using hip hop as a springboard to deposit into other investments, so to say, whether it's a Hollywood career, whether it's just putting your money in real estate. How do you see it for yourself? Is it a long-term relationship or is it short-term?
I think I'm already knee deep for it to even be a short term. Like I've been doing this for, like 9 years of my life. So I feel like I'm already long term with it. And I think I'm so rooted in hip hop itself that like the music come first more than anything. And like, and I make sure I stress that to the people that surround me. Like, yo, the music come first more than anything. I think the way I've been approaching it, it kind of shows like how much love I got for hip hop. Like, you know, I was a baby listening to the Chronic. Like, my mama had me listen to the Chronic as a baby. Well, I was a baby, not as a baby, but I was a baby. So it's like, you know, these things make me so rooted to hip hop that I can only care for the music first. It starts with the music first. I never seen an alternative route coming into the game and trying to do something else. Like, no, it's like I got to do this first, and then everything else follows. I feel like once I'm accomplished, I feel like once my story has been told to the full potential tenfold, that after anything, you know, whatever happens after is after. But long as I can make a mark and a stand and put my name into hip hop and my name will be remembered, that's when I'm not. And to that point, I ain't stopping. And I feel like it's so long rooted with it that I got so much in store for hip hop itself.
There it is.
I like it. I like it, man. You top 10 in Southern California? You think you a top 10 MC?
Of course. I think I'm top 2 and not 2.
Hey.
Hey. Put your game.
I like that. Jahmed top 2 and not 2. MC in Southern California. New project is called Armani. Citizens order it from his store. It's Jahmed.store, right? You can order it from your own platform, correct?
Yeah, Jahmed.store or Jahmed210.com. It's going to lead to the same way. But yeah, you're right, Jahmed.store.
Okay, JAHMED.store. Citizens go support. You know, this is one of those people I always tell you, you want to know, get it first. He's one of those folks you should get up on. Jahmed, next time we talk, we need to be in person. Okay?
I told 100%. I told my team, like next time I go to Sway, I got to see him in person and look him in his eyes. Like, you feel me? Sway is somebody I grew up on. Like, you feel me? Like, my mom, bro, you don't even know. Like, I'm so hip-hop rooted that I remember seeing you all my life, like, dreads and all. Like, yo, this is Sway. This is crazy.
Yep. Yeah, man. Still here, baby. Let's get it, man. Tell your mom I said salute. All right. And then, Jahmed, congratulations. Citizens, get the project. We're going to play Glimpse. And, man, keep shining, brother. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yes.